Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Dr. Muhammad Sabih Iqbal. I'm specialized in data mining and financial research. Today we'll talk about data structures in R. So previously we talked about what are the various types of data in R. We encounter different types of data. For example, we may have data in numbers in numeric format, and there could be numbers in decimals. So we store this kind of data in numeric data type. And then we talked about the textual data. So the text data or strings, or for example names of the people, they are stored as characters. Then we have data in the form of true or false, that is logical data type. And finally, we talked about the nominal or and ordinal scales, which are basically the categorical data in which we have categories, such as we may have male or female, we may have yes or no. Either it is ordinal scale or a nominal scale. Both of them are stored in factor data. Today, we'll see how we can store these different types of data in R. Okay, so the most fundamental numeric data type in R is an unnamed vector. It is unstored vector. For example, if you write a single number, it is a numeric object in R, that is, for example, 4. So if you run this, you will see that the output will be 4. So this is an unstored numeric vector in R. So and similarly, you may have a character as single unstored textual data, such as this R training. This is just one element, and it is also unstored. Okay. Uh, so these are the fundamental building blocks, and as we will move on, we will see that how we can combine these unnamed vectors of single elements into different types of data structures. So, for example, we need to see first what is the syntax to store an object in R. So in order to store a vector of a single element in R, you need to first write the name of the object. For example, I want to say it could be any name. So you can say that in this specific example here, I have set the name of the object as name. And then you will write less than or minus sign, which we call the assignment operator. You can also look at that here, this explanation here. And on the right side is the part called assignment. So basically what we are doing is we are actually giving it a name of the object that is odd, and we are assigning 3 to this object because 3 is assigned to object odd. So odd will is actually a numeric object or a numeric vector. So in order to check that whether you have stored the data in R, you can just run the code. Similarly, control plus enter. You can go and check in the global environment whether there is an object with the name odd or not. For example, here in the global environment, you're seeing objects with different names. So we have this name vector, which is actually a character vector of length 5, and it is containing the values in the textual form. Okay, and then we have also the object with the name object name, or and then there is an object with the uh, name odd. And this odd, we have odd numbers. It is showing some some sample data here. On the right side, it is showing you this is a numeric object and of length 5 with different values. Okay, so we have created a numeric object with the title odd. Okay, and if we go back, if you want to store a character object, you can see that using the same object name and assignment operator syntax, we can actually assign a character value to this uh, object with the name. So there is a vector with the name as its object name. Okay, so all of these are vectors, and name is a character vector. An object name, which was our example, is actually a numeric vector because numbers are stored in it, and you don't see quotation marks here. And then we have odd, which is a numeric object here. So let's see what else we can do by combining different elements in a vector. So now let's see a numeric vector with multiple elements. Okay, so in order to create such data, we can use concatenate function, and that is basically C, small letter C, to call concatenate function that combines multiple numbers that are given to them as a uh, uh, argument. So first, we need to know that what is the general syntax to call a function in R. For example, any function that you want in R, that you want to call in R, you need to write the name of the function, and then you will type parenthesis, and in the parenthesis you can give arguments. So there could be more than one argument. This is argument 2, and so on. Okay, and then you will press click plus enter, and you can get uh, the output. So basically these arguments are the inputs that you're giving to this function, and the result will be an output depending on the function you are calling. Uh, but one thing to know about the vector is that it can store only one type of data. So for example, among the types that we have discussed earlier, such as character or numeric, so a vector can store either a numeric type data or a character type data. Okay, so here if we want to store numeric data to a vector odd here, where we are actually assigning the numeric odd numbers to this object, we need to give it the numbers only. You cannot mix numbers with textual data, such as what I am typing right now. Okay, so again, using the same syntax and calling the function concatenate, you can actually combine these multiple values. Until now, we have just talked about a single number stored as a vector, but now here we are calling function C, that is concatenate function, and then we have these parentheses, and inside the parentheses we have these numbers which are separated by commas. Just like our generic syntax to call a function, that is combining various arguments by separated by commas. Okay, again there is a useful function in R, that is print. Now the print function, the same syntax we will follow, and the print function is actually prints the values inside the object odd. So let me run this, and if I run this, you will see that in the output it is printing the values in the odd. Okay, so this, and you can also see it in the console. the resulting output in the console. And if you want to see which data type you have, you can use some useful functions. I'm also giving them here. And just remember that similar syntax. For example, there is this function is dot vector, and is dot vector parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis you are giving the object name as an argument. Okay. And then you can also use another useful function, class class, and inside the parentheses you can give or. So these two functions actually will tell you what is the class of this object and whether it is a vector or not. So let me just run this and see the output. So is dot vector odd? Yes, it is a odd vector. Sorry, it is a vector. So that is why the result is true. And secondly, the second function asks for the class of this object. And because this is a numeric object, you can see the output as numeric. So you can just create a list of functions while working. So this was the numeric vector. Now let's move to the character vector. In a character vector, obviously, you can use the concatenate function to combine the various textual data. For example, we have the names of different students which are separated by commas. So these are 5 students whose names are stored and assigned to an object name. And you can guess the type of the object name or the class of the object. You can just check that using the class function as before. So you can see that the result is the class of the object name is character. So for numeric, you remember that it was giving you the numeric as a class of odd, but the class of name is actually a character because the character data type is stored in it. Okay. And in order to you don't need to print all the time. You can just type the name of the object and hit enter. Then the values inside the object can also be viewed. Okay. You can call this by using the name of the object. Okay. So if we want to see what is it stored inside name, we can just write name and hit Control plus enter, and it will give you the result. Then there is another useful function. So you might want to see whether it is a numeric vector or not. So in order to remove that confusion, you can use this is.numeric function, and using the same syntax, that is.numeric and parentheses, and then inside the parentheses the name of the object, that is name in this case because we are using the student names. You can just click run and you see that it's false. So as the name of the function suggests, you're asking the R whether the object provided to it is actually numeric or not. So it is telling you false. So it is actually giving you a logical outcome. Okay. And then is dot character of name, you can, yes, you have guessed it right. Yes, it is character, it's true. And if you want to see the type of the character, type of your object, then it is again giving you the character. So these are both ways can be used to see whether, but both have different usefulness. And they will be used once once you go to an advanced level, you will see that they have different level of usefulness in your code. So if you would like to see the indexation and how do we extract values from these vectors, how we can access, modify, or extract certain elements of a certain data object, we'll discuss it in our next video. And this is referred to as indexation. So for now, I am finalizing this video, and